Hey guys, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for stopping by again. And if you are a new viewer, thank you so much for stopping by also. And I hope you decide to stay tuned for the whole video because today we are building, or I guess I should say we are renovating 19 Culpepper house. So first of all, I love the name of that. It makes it sound so much fancier when you use the word house instead of apartment, which I really like. And I feel like that's pretty fitting for San Myshuno because in cities you are able to actually own apartments as opposed to renting them, which at least here in the United States, most apartments you're renting and not really owning them unless you are in a city. So I like that idea. But I wanted to make this build more specific. That way I had more of an idea of the kinds of items and decorations that I wanted to use here. So basically, this build is intended for a sushi chef. It really could be any chef or anyone that cooks or likes to cook, but I wanted to make it more specific because for me it would be more fun and I can kind of come up with a storyline in my head, which I didn't totally do, but we'll get into that a little bit. But I imagined that this sim was, whether they're male or female, I wanted to make this apartment slightly more masculine. So that's why I kind of chose the darker wood tones here. These cabinets and counters are from Jungle Adventure, and this swatch is just one of my favorites. As much as I don't really care for like a really deep wood toned counter like this, I think it worked really well here, especially with the furniture pieces that I end up using in the living room, because this is a very open floor kind of concept here, except the entryway is a little off to itself. But the living room slash, there's not really a dining room, but the living room and the kitchen are very open concept, and I just think it all flows together really well here. But I imagined, that the sim is a sushi chef, and I envisioned more that it was a male sim and probably a young adult, or maybe they're an adult sim, but they're still kind of younger, like maybe they're not ready to settle down yet. And I imagined that they have a roommate, whether this roommate is, younger than them or older than them. Maybe they don't even know each other that well. It was just like they posted an ad and this person seemed interesting to them, so they had them move into the second bedroom. But I kind of envisioned that maybe they don't really know each other that well, but maybe they can end up like sparking up some kind of relationship, like a love interest situation. I thought that would be kind of a cool play on the whole thing, even though this sim was single and very career focused and, didn't really want to settle down. Maybe the roommate that ends up moving in here is a little bit more special to them. And I don't know, I just thought that would be kind of a fun storyline. And I don't know if you guys know, but I love gameplay. I am so into a specific save file that I have right now. It's a specific family. I've played with this family for so long now. I believe when I first downloaded The Sims 4, this family was one of my very first families, and then I didn't play with them for the longest time, but they were saved on my gallery, and I downloaded them into one of my worlds, and I've been having so much fun playing with them recently. And so I've been struggling a little bit with wanting to build, so that's why I chose an apartment renovation, and I felt like this apartment would be perfect for one of their kids to live here. But anyway, we are moving on into the living room now, and since we are dealing with a medium wall height here, and we can't change that because it is an apartment, so unfortunately we are not in control of the wall height, but I tend to struggle with the medium wall height. I couldn't even imagine dealing with the tall wall height because I just feel like it would be so bare and so naked looking. But because it is the medium wall height, I wanted to I wanted to mess around with the modular, entertainment pieces here. So I end up boxing in this TV here, and it just takes up so much more space on this wall. And I feel like even though this isn't like a huge apartment or anything, it is very spacious. And again, since it is an open floor plan, I wanted to give it some more character and just make it seem like a very loved space and a space where the sim hangs out a lot. Or sorry, I guess it could be sim since I envisioned 2 people living here. But I was like, oh, the medium walls, like, what do I do with it? And I was like, oh, well, now we have all this modular furniture from Dream Home Decorator. So that's what I did here. And I think it ended up looking really good. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Now that we have cottage living, do you guys still mess around with the Dream Home Decorator pack very much? I know I definitely took a break from it, but I really enjoyed using it here. And I don't know, it's hard to switch gears sometimes because my last couple of builds have been cottage living builds, and granted, I've only done 2 of them, but even just doing 2, I'm so wrapped up in like the cottage living mindset that it was weird coming into this build thinking to myself, okay, I want this sim to maybe not be into necessarily like modern pieces, but I don't know, it's just definitely a different style, that's for sure. I would say that cottage living and this are like almost opposite of each other. And anyway, we are now moving on into the bathroom. So since we are in the bathroom and there's not too many interesting things going on in here, I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the front entryway, there's 2 doors. There's a door leading into this bathroom, and then there's a door leading into what I imagined would have been a utility closet / like storage space / closet, utility closet, same thing. And once I was building here, I was like, okay, I think a roommate should live here, and that would be a waste of space. So I decided to make that utility closet into a second bathroom. And since I wasn't totally sure if I wanted to make these Sims friends or acquaintances or even really crossing paths much, maybe they have opposite work schedules, I wanted to give that sim some privacy. So this ends up being basically 2 master bedrooms. So they both have ensuite bathrooms. And I just feel like for a roommate situation, especially if you don't know the person very well, it is really nice to have your very own space. And I feel like in a roommate situation, when you have a friend over, especially if you don't know your roommate very well, you're probably more likely to hang out in your bedroom and then your friend can just use your bathroom, and it's not like you need a specific guest bathroom. But that's what I ended up doing. You won't see it in the speed build, but you will see it in the screenshots. But here we are just kind of cluttering up just a tad. Like I said, I think I said it. I didn't really imagine this sim being too cluttered. I feel like they're definitely not they're definitely not like a minimalistic sim, but they're not cluttered either. So we did a little bit of an in-between. Like they're more organized, I guess we could say. Like everything has a place, everything has a container that it goes into, like nothing's spilling out onto the counters, like everything has a home basically. But here is where we're kind of moving around the entryway just a little bit. I do end up changing the entryway, not a ton, but you will see in the screenshots that there's a couple different things that you were probably not expecting me to do to it. But now we are into the second bedroom. So kind of what I envisioned for this sim, even though I wasn't initially going into this build thinking about there being a second sim here, I figured that this is a more feminine sim, and maybe they spend a lot of time in their bedroom. And I do end up placing, I think, 1 Discover University item in here, which is the little stack of textbooks. I'm pretty sure it's the one that you can like put in your inventory and you can like move it around. But I end up placing it on a desk in here, and so that's kind of when I was like, well, maybe this sim is going to university, so maybe that's why they're not really here all that often. And overall, it is the sushi chef's apartment, so pretty much everything that they need is in their room. They don't have any decorations or any of their own personal items out in the common area or, you know, the living spaces. Everything of theirs just kind of stays in this room. And that's just kind of what I envisioned here. And like I said, maybe these 2 sims end up falling in love, and maybe they end up getting married and starting a family, and then they change this bedroom into, you know, a nursery or a kid's bedroom. I mean, this is definitely a somewhat more spacious bedroom, so you could for sure have like a bunk bed in here and even like another bed. Like you could full on have like 3 or 4 kids here. I personally don't think I would enjoy that gameplay because this is kind of small for that many Sims, in my opinion. But I really like the way this room turned out. It is very different from the rest of the build, but that's why I was like, I feel like this is a roommate. This isn't so much of like this person's like, I don't know, good friend or anything. I don't know, or at least it didn't start out that way. But I don't believe, yes, I don't end up putting it in the speed build. I was going to say I don't think I put the, like me putting together the bathroom here, but it ends up being a very small bathroom, so you really didn't miss too much. And then we're pretty much going to be hopping out into the balcony now, which I love that you can actually decorate and like work with the balconies out here. The first balconies or apartments that I ever played in were in Evergreen Harbor. So once I got here, I was very happy to be like, oh, I can actually do stuff out here, which is really nice. I love this balcony. But we are coming up on the screenshots. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hit that like button, or I guess it's a thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on your post notifications so you're aware of when I post my future builds. And I hope you guys enjoy the screenshots, and I hope to see you in a future build. Bye. Anyone out there that does speed builds or voiceovers and you're dealing with a mic, tell me how far away my mic should be from my mouth, because if it's too far, it sounds echoey. So I'm holding my mic and I'm being very, very still. I look creepy. I look like I'm someone that's standing here with a candle to my mouth about to get ready to do a seance or something. That's what I look like. So just help me.